Sherry, have you ever worked with a brand that doesn't offer support like promotions or sales ideas?
I have, and it's so annoying.
Right? But that's not the case with Northwest Naturals.
Along with the support I've experienced personally from Northwest Naturals over the past 20 years, Carly and I keep hearing over and over about the outstanding retailer support they offer.
Yes, it is totally true. From in-store promotion to hands-on business building, they've got Indies' backs.
Because when our businesses thrive, so do the pets we serve.
And that's why Northwest Naturals puts retailers first.
Find out more at nw-naturals.net.
And right now, Northwest Naturals is offering an extra 5% on Gap ISOs for current clients, plus an extra 5% on any new ISO for new clients.
Just use promo code PetShopGirls.
Pet Shop Girls, the voice of the indie, the heart of the trade. Pet Shop Girls, unleash your power, let's make some waves.
Hey everybody, I'm Sherry.
And I'm Carly.
Welcome back to the Pet Shop Girls podcast. This is the first episode of 2026.
2026, woo woo!
Oh my gosh, yeah. Welcome.
Wow. And you know what? It's going to be December of 2026 before we know it, and we're going to be going, where did 2026 go? You know why time goes so fast as we get older?
I don't know.
Actually, as I was listening to another podcast and they were kind of talking about this, like, why does it seem that when you're a kid and you have summer vacation, summer lasts forever. And then as you get older, summer and years just fly by in the blink of an eye. And what he talked about is when you're a kid, you're learning something new every day.
Oh.
And
that's so interesting.
Right?
That's why you should always learn something new every day.
Learn something new every day. And it's because when we're older and we think we know all the things and we're not actively pursuing obtaining knowledge, and even, children may not be either, but everything is new, shiny and fresh, right? They haven't seen this before, that before. But yeah, it is when we get to be older and we're not actively looking for those learning something new every day, time flies.
Well, hopefully you'll learn something new on this podcast today.
You will, because today, well, let me ask you this, Sherry. Have you ever identified, and I know that sometimes these can be blind spots and maybe we don't always see it, but eventually we might start to recognize that something we are doing or not doing might be holding us back. Have you ever found yourself in that situation?
All the time.
Is it because I'm pointing them out?
Sometimes, yes.
Sometimes.
Well, no, we are our worst enemy, right? Like we are our biggest roadblock most of the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, all of us want growth, and we're talking to stores and brands here today, and we don't want you guys to be held back. We're going to talk about limits that you put on yourself, and limits is an acronym that we're going to discuss. And Carly is the queen of acronyms, and she created this episode and this acronym. So I'm excited. I hope you are too. You want to get into it?
Yes, because I think that if we're unable to identify the limits that we're putting on ourselves, how do we ever get that growth? And again, I think a lot of these limits are blind spots. We don't actually even recognize or realize that we're doing it. And so I think that with awareness,
it's always the first step, isn't it?
It is always the first step. Yes.
And it's sometimes the hardest step too.
Yeah. So. So if we can bring awareness to what limits are and what limits you may or may not be putting on yourself, or what limits you're putting on yourself by doing or not doing certain things, I think that then people can start to identify, holy crap, I do that. Or holy crap, I'm not doing that. And that might be limiting your growth. So without further ado,
we're going to start with L.
Yeah. L in limits. I'm sure anybody who knows me knows that this
education.
is a lack of education, because you need to be learning something new every day.
Uh-huh.
So I think when it comes to our brands, and you and I have talked about this before, right? Brands are very, what's the word? They are very keen to share with us their history and their origin story and how they came to be. But then what else? Like,
right.
you know,
So I guess it's equipping stores with the right education in order for the store to be able to effectively sell that product
and train their staff, right? So your origin story is probably awesome. And you love it and you're in love with it. And I guess in this particular instance, we need to look at what's in it for me. I'm going back many decades when I first started training people in my corporate job, right? And so these were customer service agents, and we were trying to train them how to work with our customers for the corporation. And one of the things that we always taught them was the WIMIF, what's in it for me. And it was an acronym, WIMIF. And so if there's nothing in it for your customer, they don't care. People are selfish. Remember that.
And they
selfish.
have very short attention spans. And
even shorter
if you don't get to the point, like within 30 seconds, like they lose interest and you could lose that sale. So when I've had brands come in to do trainings, or even, the ones that they put out there on platforms like retail.pet, and you talk for 30 minutes about the background of the brand and the history, like you've lost me, you've lost the customer. Like I know it's all well and good. And I do like to know little things like when was it established, where was it made, but I don't need to know 30 minutes of history.
Nope.
I need to know how to sell it.
Yep. The stories that I like to hear from brands is that they figured there's got to be a better way. That's it. Because almost all of them that us as indies work with have that same type of story. I use this product, or my dog ate this food, or whatever it is. And I figured, holy crap, there's got to be a better way. And so I started my company. Boop, 30 seconds.
Done, yeah.
And I would say too, like, even though we said that attention spans are shorter, though it appears to be that attention spans are shorter, what it is that we are making quicker decisions versus having a shorter attention span. It's not that we have a shorter attention span, it's that we're making quicker decisions. So when you're going to drone on about irrelevant content for 30 minutes about why your brand or store came to be, I have lost interest, because WIMIF. What is in it for me? So tell me the benefits of the product. Tell me how it helps animals. Tell me the ailments that it addresses, so that I can identify that when a customer comes in and I can pass on that knowledge. But for me to drone on about your origin story for 30 minutes, my customer is also thinking, WIMIF, like, what is in this for me?
Here's another issue I see sometimes with brands and their education to the stores is they get too sciencey. Like there's too much science in it. And once you start talking about, numbers and this and that, like I kind of zone out. And I'm sure some people really like it, but I'm not one of them. And most of my customers aren't going to want to listen to all those numbers either. Nope. So it's irrelevant information when you're trying to train the staff.
Yeah, because what have we talked about before? We sell benefits, not features. And so don't tell me about all the features, which is where the numbers are. Tell me what those numbers, how they benefit the animal, so that I can then translate that into human language where I'm having a conversation with a parent. And I am going to make it.
You want to teach like like you're talking to a fifth grader.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So that, because we don't know what level people are at with regards to education. And so here's the thing. If I'm trying to drag you up to a level of a scientist, and you have the comprehension when it comes to pet food of a fifth grader, because let's be real, most pet parents are at that level. They think, oh, the dog has to eat, but that's as far as they think. It's a small section of pet parents out there today that are really looking at those numbers. They just want to know that it's a good food and they want to know that it's making their dog healthy.
And those numbers are great. And if they want to learn that, have that on your website. That's awesome. But that's not what you need to be talking about when you're going into like train the staff at a store.
Yeah. And even I'm going to do a shameless plug, Sherry, because that's what I do. But when you talked about like, we don't want the sciencey talk, we want the science to be there, obviously. But again, your customer is going to fade out and like start catching flies in the corner when you start talking science. And that is exactly how I teach my team. Like I want to teach them in customer language. So when I talk about like the benefits of bone broth, that it detoxes the liver to eliminate tear stains, that resonates with pet parents because they're like, holy crap, Fluffy always has tear stains. But when I just talk about, bone broth detoxes the liver, the pet parent's like, who cares? Like,
what's in it for me?
Yeah, his liver's fat. Whimif. And so that is how I teach my team. We want to talk about what does it do for the animal and recognize when customers are coming in saying, what do you do for tear stains? Well, you do bone broth. And what? Yeah, it detoxes the liver. That gets rid of the tear stains. Oh, like they resonate with that. And the training that I built for my team and the training that is available for sale for pet pros, I eliminate that science talk. And because for me, I'm not sciencey. I'm not that science guy who digs in and wants to, be up to my eyeballs in numbers. I want to know, how does this help the animal? And so that's how I've built the training.
Yes. And where is your training available?
It is on WhizBang Brilliance. WhizBang Brilliance. Yeah. Yes. So anyways, that is the shameless plug, but it just made me think of that because that is specifically what I attempted to do in developing my training is still recognize the science, but not talk the science. And so that's what I try to teach my team as well.
So ultimately, we all want to learn something new every day, and you should encourage the staff to slow down time every day.
All right, Pet Pro, I'm going to be fully transparent here because you know that I don't hype products that I don't believe in. Northhound Life is one of those products I genuinely love carrying in my store.
And that's saying something because Carly is super picky.
Very picky. What I love about Northhound Life, though, is that they are premium, Canadian-made, whole food supplements for dogs. No fillers, no artificial flavors, ever. These are clean, natural formulas that actually make sense from a holistic nutrition standpoint.
And they're pet parent approved with vet approved ingredients, which is huge when you're educating customers and building trust.
Exactly. Every formula is functional and backed by holistic nutrition, not trendy fluff. Plus, they're sustainably packaged, which makes them a perfect fit for natural and wellness-focused stores.
They're also a small, woman-owned Canadian business, which we always love supporting.
And from a retailer perspective, they've made it super easy. Fast shipping from Canada for Canadian retailers, shipping from within the U.S. for U.S. retailers, and no wholesale order minimums.
Wow, no minimums? That alone removes a massive barrier for indies.
And for our listeners, they're offering free shipping on your first wholesale order. Just head to wholesale.northhoundlife.com and use the promo code PetShopGirls.
And remember, it's available in both Canada and the U.S.
That's right. So if you're looking for clean, whole food supplements that align with how you actually want to show up for your customers, Northhound Life is absolutely worth your time to look at.
Okay, we're going to move on to I, which is ignoring community. And this immediately makes me think of episode 100 when we were talking to Rodney.
Yep.
Rodney Habib. And he is so into community. Like, it made me realize I am failing in this aspect. I mean, look, we've built a great community where I'm at, but like there are areas that I could improve.
And giving it attention. Like it's not a one and done, right? You don't like have one conversation with a pet parent that was 45 minutes long and they think that you're amazing and they go tell two friends and then you're done. That's not the community, right? You have to have that same type of interaction with every person that walks through your store. And this has been I mean, for years, I remember when I first started working in retail as a teenager, and they talked about it then, that if you please a customer and they rave about you, they'll go tell two friends. And if you upset a customer and make them really mad, they're going to go and tell 10 friends. Now, with the power of social media, they have the ability to tell 10 times that many friends, right? Like,
oh, don't remind me. Wow.
or even more. But so ignoring the community initially, obviously, red flag. Building the community and then not continuing to care for it, another red flag. Another. See how I just made that new word? It's another.
Another.
Yeah, it's kind of like the American version of y'all.
Yeah.
I can't be wasting times with another, so it's just another.
So brands can also foster community too. They could help stores with their local events that's going on. They could donate maybe almost expired food, or there's lots of ways that they could help. Do you have any more examples, Carly?
Well, and I'm just thinking, like, when we build that community, word of mouth is still king. I don't get me wrong. You guys know that I am a huge what's the word I'm looking for? I love social media. And we cannot ignore that community. And I mean, I continue, and I have since day one, your family in my store, your family on my social media. And this is our social family, and this is our in-store family. And some of those overlap. Oh,
I know what I was missing. Brands can donate like a portion of their sales. Like Roz does this. They give 100% of their profits to, it's an organization that helps, it helps brain injury. Or something like that, because one of their kids had a brain injury. And so all their profits go to research that. So that's really cool.
You know what is funny? And we're going to have to reach out to Roz, because this is not an ad for them. But I just brought in Roz, and I am loving it. Like, and I did see that they donate their profits. And honestly, like, I mean, I did my research before I brought it in, just like I do my research for everything. And at a very high surface level, I thought, this looks great. Like the ingredients and everything, right? And then I dug in a little bit deeper, and I'm like, this is a really good option. What I love about them, and I'm going to bring this up because this is a bee in my bonnet, in their wet cat food that is a fish formula, they are using natural sources of vitamin K. They are not cheaping out. They are not cheaping out using synthetic vitamin K that is literally known to cause organ damage. And the companies that are doing that, I'm like falling in love with them all over again. But anyways, I do love the fact that Roz...
Their cat cans are one of our biggest sellers now. Yeah, specifically the 3 ounce. And that's a trend. I don't know if we talked about this when we were talking about trends in our most recent episodes, but 3 ounce cat cans are outselling 5.5 ounce for me, hands down.
Wow. Okay. I did bring in the 5.5 ounce. And so far that's where I'm at. But our customers
could just be my region. I don't know, but yeah. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's an amazing food line. And Roz, if you're listening,
we're going to reach out. You got the Pet Shop Girls on your butt now. But you know what? When we look back, okay, so we're on ignoring community, building that authentic community, both online and offline, and engaging with your customers where they are. If that's Facebook, if that's TikTok, if that's in your store, if that's at events, making sure to continually build that community. And I think that community also includes collaboration with other businesses. This doesn't mean necessarily competing businesses with you, but businesses in the same industry that you guys can collaborate and build community together. I think that when our customers see us reaching out and working with rescues, because not everybody can help all the time, but when those that can do and those that can in a smaller way can help contribute to the bigger picture, I think that makes, that helps build your community.
Yes. Okay. M, We're moving on to M. Or are we not?
I'm dragging out my soapbox.
Oh, you're dragging out your soapbox. Okay, so this one is misaligned partnerships.
Mm-hmm.
And Carly does have a soapbox that she's about to step on. And we've talked about this before, but it's great to revisit. The mistake is what we want to talk about here is exclusivity for brands or partnering, and it's the wrong fit. And by that, I'm thinking like aligning yourself with the wrong distributor or allowing your brand in the wrong type of store too.
Yep. Yes. Because I was going to say a lot of exclusivity deals are concocted by brands, and stores think that, ooh, it's exclusive to me. You can only get it here. Unless that's a white label product, the brand is making a mistake. And so is the store, because you're pigeonholing yourself. But there are also distributors out there who offer exclusivity to different stores, which again, big mistake. Big mistake.
It's bad for the brand for so many reasons. And here's my big one. You're not getting your amazing product in as many people's hands as possible. You're limiting how many people can use it.
And exposure, right? Like,
yes.
What do we talk about for stores all the time? The more exposure you have, the more well-known you become, the more people come to you. So now all of a sudden a brand that is only available in one store in that city or within a 20-mile radius or whatever, you are limiting the exposure. The way that I'm going to tell a story from before I was in pet space. I was feeding Zaner a certain food, and I thought I liked the food, and I thought that he really liked the food, and all the things, but I did not love the store that I had to buy it at. And so I went to a different store because this other store was a chain. So this chain was opening in Regina. And so I went to them and I said, hey, can you get this particular brand? And she says, yes, I can. And so she orders it. And 3 days later, I get a call and they're like, hey, we got the food in, but just so you know, we actually can't sell this to you with people knowing because it's exclusive to a different store in the city. And I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. Like, that's literally why I went to a different pet store, because I wasn't happy with the service that I was getting at the pet store that carried the food. Then I went into a different, it's like a big pet store, like a big chain pet store here, chatting with them, talking about this food. And they said, oh yeah, we used to carry that, but the store that now has exclusivity complained that we were selling it too cheap. Anyways, I learned once I got in the pet industry, that was not actually the truth. It's because they negotiate exclusivity with every brand they carry.
And I can't believe the brands say okay to this. It doesn't make any sense to me. And it's a monopoly too. Then they could raise the price because nobody else can sell it.
And they do. But also it's not about quality anymore. There's no concern for quality. The quest is all for exclusivity. So as long as they get exclusivity, they'll carry it. And I was really confused when my store first opened, and because I always thought that they sold good food. And then people that were coming to my store and saying that they've moved to, my food. And oh my God, I can't believe how much better my cat's coat is. Like, it's not greasy anymore. The poops are good, all the things. And I'm like, what? And then I was chatting with one of their former employees and I said, I'm really surprised about this. And he was the one that said, because it's not about quality food anymore. It's all about exclusivity. And if they can get exclusivity, that's what matters.
I see it all over Fair too, for some reason. Like, it says this product or this brand is available for exclusivity in your area. Yeah. And I'm like, why? Don't do that.
Fair, at least, Fair limits it. And I think you can get exclusivity for up to a certain amount of time. And maybe that's just to kind of kickstart a new product in your area. But honestly, I was in Calgary. So again, 7 hours away from my house. I was at Doodle Dogs. Corey and Megan, shout out to them. They are part of our Indie Insiders. They are forces in the industry.
They're super fun too.
It's super fun. And they had a treat that I was like, oh my God, this is adorable. Where do you get this, Corey? Never seen it in my city. Why? Because it's exclusive to the store in my city that gets exclusivity on everything. And anyways, I had reached, so this is the whole thing with misaligned partnerships, right? I reached out to the owner of this business and I said, I would love to carry your product. And she replied back very politely that I'm sorry, I have exclusivity set up in your city with this particular store. She didn't name the store, but I knew who she was talking about because they do it with everybody. So I responded back again very politely and I talked about the partnership that I offer. And it's not just customers walking into my store. It's the reach that I have through social media and the fact that we treat our brands like partners. So we talk about the products that we carry. And whether you're in Regina or you're in Texas or in Singapore, you will know about the products that I carry in my store. And my community trusts me. They trust the research that I do to bring products in. So when they come into my store, I hear this all the time from my customers. You tell me what to do. I trust you. So whatever you say, that's what I'm going to do. And I know that my social community or my social family feels that way as well, because I get those messages all the time. And then I talked about our podcast. Like we talk about brands on the podcast. And so we have a reach, but I treat all of my brands as partners. And brands and distributors need to treat their stores like partners. And
yes,
when we don't, those partnerships, well, they're not even partnerships, so never mind the air quotes, those are misaligned, broken relationships that eventually and a broken relationship is easy to end, right?
I think I've talked about my issue with exclusivity and how it affects distribution. So I have like a distributor that, look, I have multiple distributors that do carry that brand, but there's exclusivity in my area and I can only order it from one specific distributor, which is not cool for certain stores that, may not, I'm trying to be very politically correct here. If you have issues with that one distributor, then you got to pull that entire brand out of your store. That's the problem.
Well, and so I would say though too, like if you're exclusive to a store, your competitors, this is to brands, if you're exclusive in a store, your competitors are dominating in every other store in that city. Because I only see your brand when I walk into that store. And if I never walk into that store, I don't even know you exist. And then if I take one more step back, so I would say that as a brand, if you've got a store asking you for or wanting exclusivity, that's a red flag. They want to keep you for themselves. They want nobody to be able to find you unless customers walk into their store. And as a consumer, think about, I still go to other pet stores for Zaner because there are certain products that I just either don't have the room to carry or I can't get through my distributors or I can't get period. I still go to other pet stores. So you think about that. As a consumer, we're walking into a bunch of different stores. And if we're walking into all these stores and we never see your brand because we only ever see it in one store, if we walk into that store, it doesn't even register on our radar because it's something I've never seen before. So I would say that that's a red flag for the brand. If a store is asking you for exclusivity, and if I take it one step further, and I really look at the big picture, why did we get into this business? Like, I wanted to help animals. So at the end of the day, if what helps the animal is in my store or it's across the city, I'd rather that pet parent have access to good quality products everywhere, not just in one store.
All right. Are you going to get off your soapbox now?
I dropped the mic. I pushed the soapbox away. Okay, so real talk, Pet Pro. Sherry has been on the hunt for good custom bags for ever.
Seriously, I've been looking for years. Everything was either too expensive, had insane minimums, or just didn't feel right. Then I found Aardvark, and it was like, finally.
Oh my God, you were so excited when those t-shirt bags came in.
I was ecstatic. I felt like I finally achieved retail excellence. They're beautiful, sturdy, and having our logo on them makes us look super polished.
And he does custom poop bags too, right?
Yes, he customizes the box and the little sticker that holds the rolls together. I put my logo on it. It's all branded and it makes a difference. Those details matter.
And his prices are super competitive.
Honestly, way better than anything else I've found. And he's great to work with. Super responsive, no weird hoops to jump through, just easy.
So if you've been putting this off, now's the time. Check out artvarkpet.com. You'll thank us later.
That's ARTVARK pet.com. And if you want a $600 design pack for free, and to avoid those pesky setup fees, plus get 10% off your first order, be sure to mention the Pet Shop Girls sent you.
We're on to our second I.
Yes, inconsistency. So inconsistency in branding, your social media or customer experience.
Your marketing messages.
Yeah. If it's not consistent or it's not recognizable as your brand, people can get confused. And it also is just not professional.
And you know what? A really simple kind of test is for testing your own consistency on your socials. If you look at your socials, go onto your Instagram feed and just look at the grid. Can you tell that that's all the same company?
Yes, I tell people this all the time. And sometimes I'll see some businesses where it's different fonts in each image and, different colors. Like, why are you using your brand colors? And pick 3 fonts and stick with it, It's the little things, you guys. It's just tweaking it a little bit and making it look polished.
But I think when I look at different businesses' Instagram feeds and I look at the grid and it is so disconnected with no consistency, I'm like, what am I? It hurts my brain.
Or they'll post multiple times in a week and then disappear for a month.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Well, and now here's the thing too. We're not saying that your entire feed should look like you took a paintbrush to it in your brand, because I also think that that's boring. Nothing stands out then, right? If everything looks identical, that is not what we're saying. If everything looks identical, that also hurts my brain because I can't focus on anything. So you need some variety, but you should kind of have, I guess the easiest way to say this is maybe pillars. You would have kind of 3 or 4 pillars that make up your brand. This is kind of my educational stuff. This is my entertaining stuff. This is whatever. But you have to, within your variety, you still have to maintain some consistency. And that does go to posting as well. I know I used to be the guy, and for 5 years, over 5 years, every single day without fail, I ensured that my Facebook and my Instagram feeds got a post every single day without fail. I spent a ton of time creating social media content. This was back in the day before Chatty G, came onto the scene.
So it takes a lot more time. Yeah.
It took a lot more time because not only was I creating every single graphic, but I was writing every single copy. And I would set literally hours aside every day for a week to build out my social for the month. And I believed that I was doing the best thing. Now, this is the beautiful thing about evolution. My beliefs can change, and my beliefs have changed. Because when I really started focusing on video, I found out that that was a much bigger ROI for my social interactions.
Oh, 100%. I've noticed even if you animate a Canva image, I've gotten 3 to 4 times more views on that than a static one.
Yeah.
So one of my goals this year is to work on my animation for Canva, as well as post more videos.
Sherry Anime, that's what we'll just call you now. But sorry, this goes back to what we were saying earlier, that it's not necessarily that people have that shorter attention span. They're just making decisions quicker. So let me give you an example. On your socials, if I took the time to create a beautiful graphic around bone broth, and then I wrote out this gorgeous copy that could literally be a blog about all the benefits that bone broth has to offer, or I created a 30 to 60-second video that talked about the benefits of bone broth and how you're going to love it. And it was somewhat entertaining and engaging and educational.
I do both. Usually, I try.
100%. So I've shifted my education sharing, I guess. I really do more of that in my email, and I'm getting a lot of good feedback. I mean, we have been for years. I wanted to share as well. This will be coming up in our email episode because we were asked by one of our exclusive Substack members, can we do a detailed email episode? So we're going to, but I just wanted to share really quick. Remember when this is so off topic, but I'm thrilled about this. Remember when we were talking about the importance of weekly emails? And I said that in my first year when I did that, I generated $25,000 in revenue. And then my second year, 60,000. I have now, 2025, I completed my third year of weekly emails. And I generated almost 80,000 in sales.
That's amazing. That's
From
amazing.
An email, you guys. This is the power of email. And so that's where I was going with this, is that I've really shifted to my...
You have to be consistent.
You have to be consistent. With it. Yeah. So I guess it is on topic. A little bit. See how I'm grasping? But I've shifted my educational content more to my emails and blogs. And yes, but not so much in my social posts. That's where I'm doing that education is in the form of videos. And that's where I was saying, that's where I kind of shifted my whole thought around posting every day or posting a really effective educational video that resonates with, like, my bone broth post with a static image and copy might get seen by 800 people, but a bone broth video that gives the same information in a shorter amount of time and doesn't force somebody to read, catches their attention, and now it's seen by 27,000 people. Like, that's where I was saying it was a way better ROI for me to start focusing on video on all three platforms versus just TikTok.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we want to move on?
Well, hang on a second here. I think one of the ways that we can increase consistency or reduce inconsistency is putting those systems in place for kind of posting schedules or staff checklists. I've talked about this lots too. My team helps our socials by posting minimum 3 stories per day. And that's part of the job of whoever's in the store. When does it not get done? When Carly's working. Because I forget, even though I've put like alarms in the store phone and everything to, hey, have your stories been posted yet? My team is very good at it, but that's just part of the job. When you're working in the store, minimum 3 stories posted. So doing small things like that will help you stay consistent.
Oh, I also created fairly recently, like I wrote down my brand guidelines because I have asked some staff members to help with socials, and I want to make sure all of our posts align with the brand. So I've listed out my fonts, my colors. When we post a story, I want, to choose this closed caption style versus this one, stuff like that. If you write it out, then it really helps.
Yes. And what I also did for my team is we use Trello to track a lot of things. And one of the things is our daily checklist, right? These are the things that need to get done in a day. And one of them is posting your minimum of 3 stories. But then I elaborated in there and I gave them like 24 different ideas for stories just to make it quick and punchy. And this is what we're going to do. And I also laid out, this is how House of Paws does stories. So same kind of idea. And that way, when I'm training new people, I'm like, okay, when you're doing your stories, here's your template. Here's what you're going to do to make it, because lots of people may use social media when you hire them, but maybe lots of people have never posted a story. I know when I first opened House of Paws, and I started working with Josh, who we had on the show, and he's a little bit of a social media whiz. I said to him, explain stories to me because I don't get it. I don't understand the purpose of a story. And
I didn't get it in the beginning either. And I didn't understand why it disappeared.
Yeah. So if I would have been hired at House of Paws and they would have said, your job is to post 3 stories a day, I'd be like, what? I don't even I don't. So that's why I wanted to make it for folks who come in and yes, they've used social media, but they maybe don't post stories. Here's how you post a story. So I've got the hows, I've got what we're posting in there, I've got a template, and then I've got a bunch of ideas. This is a quick one. Do you want to educate? Do you want to entertain? Do you want to, whatever? And it's all listed there.
Nice. I'd like to see that list of yours because it sounds a lot more detailed than mine.
I can find it, and I
maybe
you're going to
could
tell me to put it in
create-
Substack.
Well, we could create a generic brand guideline form that people could use to then fill in with their own brand.
Uh-huh. I like how you just continue to add work to my plate.
Oh, it'll be fine. Okay.
I'll give you my things and then you do the zhuzhing.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Teddy G will help. Yes, we're going to go to T, transactional mindset.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're focusing only on the sale and not the relationship, this kind of ties back into community, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's definitely some overlap for sure.
Yeah. I used to think that, if you build it, they will come. And, people just walk in and buy stuff and leave, and you really didn't have to do anything else.
That's transactional. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I thought at the age of 23.
Yeah.
So that is not going to work in today's retail climate.
100% not. Because, we know that we're already facing not only other brick and mortar competition in your own city, but we are facing online giants, big box, like all of the guys that were like, how do we compete with them? Well, I'll tell you, one of the easiest ways to compete with them is make your customers feel valued. Because I'll tell you right now, every single time I've ever ordered anything off Amazon and never felt valued one time, every single time I have ever walked into Wally World, Walmart, nobody makes me feel like a valued customer. Or even Roscoe. Nobody makes me feel like a valued customer, though I would say Roscoe is probably closer to anybody else if you do actually talk to a staff member. But that is a huge advantage for us.
I got to say, I do hate feeling like just a number, just a dollar sign. Mm-hmm. Like, I get that feeling a lot at doctor's offices.
Yeah.
And I know this isn't pet related, but, have you ever been to a doctor and you just feel like, they're ushering you in like
cattle?
Like cattle. Yeah. I was going to say like a cow, but yeah, like cattle. And I'm just like one of the many. I'm not happy with that. I try to find doctors that actually do seem to care, whether they're acting or not. Like, at least act like you care.
Well, and I mean, you could apply this same transactional mindset to every industry. So look at McDonald's versus a 5-star steakhouse, right? Mm-hmm. I walk into McDonald's and I order my Big Mac and fries and my root beer, and they're like, next, right? Like, they don't give a crap. They're just going to get that burger in my face and get me the hell out of there because they want the next guy in. But I go to that 5-star steakhouse and it's like, good evening, ma'am. Would you like a light napkin or a dark napkin? Would you like all the things, right?
Still water or sparkling.
Correct. Like, they're going to treat you like you matter. And that is the same thing in our stores. When we're treating our customers like next, they don't feel like they matter. They don't feel valued. And you didn't give them any reason to come back. Brands, if you're also treating me as my store, next, because you're just trying to get into all these stores.
Thank you for bringing that up. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I want a brand that treats me like part of their brand family and offers me resources and education and, wants to help me actually grow the brand in my store and partner with me. Those are the brands I want in my store.
And reaches out once in a while. Like, don't just sell me your stuff and then abandon me. And I have had that, right? There's some brands that we carry where they were like my best friend to make the sale. And maybe they did have a good product. And maybe that's the only reason that they're still in my store. But this service that I'm receiving from them,
I think we're probably both talking about the same brand. And I'll reach out because I'll do like freeze-dried frenzy month. And I try to put all my freeze-dried on sale. And I know that they don't have a huge budget, or at least they say they don't have a huge budget. And for smaller brands that I know don't have a huge budget, I'm not going to hit them up for $10 off a bag.
Right.
I'm like, could you at least do like $2 off your frickin' $59.99 bag? And, and they're like, oh, we don't have it in the budget. And I'm
Yeah.
like, seriously? Then I'm not going to actively sell your product.
Yeah.
I'm going to sell this other product that does support me.
And you know what, at the end of the day, how they could literally support that, I'm just thinking, if that was me, I'm the brand, and I maybe don't have a budget, but the distributor that you order my product through has my product in stock. You know what, Sherry? We don't have the budget, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send you 4 free bags, and that should cover 50 $2 transactions. And right.
Yeah.
And
like
then
try to work out something or counter offer me or anything, to make it look like you care about me as your customer.
Going back to partnerships here, there's tons of overlap in the limits that are causing us to prevent growth, either as brands or in our own stores. But at the end of the day, the relationship, and again, I think this is overarching throughout the entire thing, the relationships that we are building with our customers, that our brands are building with us, that our distributors are building with their brands and with us, the relationship is what is going to keep this machine oiled and running smoothly.
Okay, we got one more. Stagnation.
Is there a song about stagnating? I should make one if there isn't. Okay, so
and I've been in business for 20 years, and I have been guilty of this, where I've just done the thing the same way over and over and over again, without making it new or fresh or even evaluating, is it still working,
John Taffer, if you're listening, which I'm sure
he's totally not.
I'm sure Pet Shop Girls is in his regular podcast rotation. But so I used to watch a lot of Bar Rescue, and I love the show. And it's not because I own a bar, obviously. I own a pet store, but there were a lot
bar owner though.
I was what?
You would be a very good bar owner.
Oh my God, no, I would. I can't stay up late enough. I'm like, okay, the bar closes at 7, guys, because I got to get home to the couch. But he had a lot of good, just generic business advice, which is what I really liked. And one of the things that he talked about, like, he is the reason that on my windows, it is stenciled healthy boutique for cats and dogs, or healthy treats and food for cats and dogs, or whatever it is. Because he would talk about, like, on your restaurants or your bars, you need to tell people why they want to come here. And House of Paws Pet Boutique, though it made sense to me, maybe didn't make sense to everybody else. We also have a groomer. Pardon me. We have a groomer in the city called Round of a Paws. I am House of Paws. They are Round of a Paws. So I can't tell you how many calls we get asking if I can get their doodle in to get his nails trimmed. And I'm like, that's not us. That's Round of a Paws. Here's their number. But so I did that because John Taffer had talked about, letting people know what the heck you do and why they should come to you. One of the other things he talked about was, and now maybe this would be more so in a restaurant, but I don't think that a refresh in a pet store is a bad idea either. But he talked about putting away 10% of your monthly sales into a savings account, so that every 5 years, if you needed it, right, that your freezer broke down, your oven broke down in a restaurant, these are things that you would need, or you want to refresh your store. When was the last time you changed your carpet that has gravy and chicken guts all over it or when was the last time you painted or changed out your booths or switched out your chandeliers because it's not the 1970s anymore. Mm-hmm. So I started doing that. I started putting away. Well, I put away, it was 5%. It was 5% for this. And that's what I do is I do about 5%. And every Friday, I just have it automatically set up in my bank to send the money.
I just started doing this, and I wish I would have done it sooner.
Yeah, I've been doing it for a while, a long time. And things do come up. But my thought was, okay, would I completely refresh my store? Probably not. Would I get new furniture, or shelving, or paint my walls? Yep, probably. But more importantly, I was thinking I wanted to put that money aside so that if my team needed training and it was something that I was actually buying, or if there was some sort of a conference that I was going to take my team to, I guess I had that more in my head for like training opportunities, and I wanted to kind of have that little nest egg to train.
See, for us, we go through a washer and dryer about every year. So we wash so many towels
Yeah.
because of the boarding and the grooming and the fish department. So we're pretty rough on them. And every time we'd have to buy a new one, it was like, oh, dang it, we got to come up with that money.
Yeah.
But with the little reserve, it does help. But I wanted to give another example about this, and that's like pivoting, being able to pivot. Like, for example, at least in my area, and this may be nationwide, but dry food sales are down.
Yep.
Frozen is up. And
Yep.
if you haven't decreased your kibble department and increased your amount of freezers, you're going to be left behind. You're missing out on sales. That's staying stagnant, and it's no good.
Listen, the thing that probably drove me the most in my corporate career was when I would hear the reason that we do it this way is because we've always done it this way. That drove me to my core, because I'm like, OM freaking G, I am giving you literally the blueprint to do this more efficiently in less time with less resources and for less money. And you won't change because we've always done it this way. That is the definition of stubborn stagnation. And it will get you nowhere, right? Like,
no,
evolving.
That's working harder and making less.
And not smarter. Yep, 100%. Yeah. So it's like, you know what? I mean, they talk about that, like when a new food comes out, that it takes about 2 years to get traction. You want to know why? Because we've got so many retailers out there that, well, I've never sold that food before, and I've never heard about that food before. So they're going to wait. It's like the penguins, right? We're all pushing to see which penguins fall in, and if he gets eaten by an orca whale. And if he doesn't get eaten by the orca whale, then the rest of us will jump in and carry on to swim to the other iceberg. We have to start being the leading penguins that will jump in that water to test it ourselves.
Yeah, and be the change.
100% be the change. So if there's a brand new food in your area, do the research. Do the freaking research and take a look. Does this company's values align with mine? Will they provide my staff with training? Will I get the support I'm looking for? Do they have ISOs? Are they on Astro? Like all of the things. Do I love the ingredient panel? Okay, you know what? I'm going to be the guy that leads this charge and says how awesome this food is and sells this food. So it doesn't take them 2 years.
Plus, if you bring it in before everybody else in your city or town, it's like part-time exclusivity, Well, that also means that people are going to come to you and look for those new things. In fact, this year we put up a whole end cap that is just the new products that come in. So anytime we get a new product, we put it on the end cap. And I had kind of tried something like this before, and it wasn't as successful, but my staff made it look really nice. And especially after Super Zoo, when we got a bunch of new stuff.
Yeah.
And we had to be consistent.
Yep.
People actually go to that end cap to see what's new when they come in.
Yep.
And it has been working. I will tell you that. So, yes.
And if you think about it too, like when you go into the big department stores like Marshall's and TJ Maxx and Winners and all those guys, if you walk in there every week, those initial tables that you pass when you walk through the front door are never the same. Never.
Right. They
same.
change it every week.
All the time. Yeah. And I know that, again, been there, done that. Like we typically change out we call it the bone table because I got this table specially made and it's in the shape of a bone.
It's super cute.
And this is right when you walk in, it's hanging it's sitting underneath my chandelier. So that's kind of the feature. And we try to change it up every month.
I was going to say we change our tables every month and we kind of like whatever our theme is for the month or like spotlight brands that we have, we'll put on the tables, but we switch it out every month just because it is kind of a laborious task. And typically our customers come in about once a month, unless you have like weekly daycare clients or something, Yeah.
Well, and that's just like, I know that as a store owner, listen, I don't have time every week to be swapping out my bone table. But like adjusting the bone table, making sure that we're featuring products, and always when we get new stuff, it will be featured on the bone table. But that is the first thing they see. And that's where I'm saying I get it that as a small indie pet pro, you maybe don't have the time or resources to be changing it out weekly, but do try to change it out monthly. Aside from that, that's just one little minor change, but trying new products, trying new events, constantly looking for ways to evolve. That's the goal here is not just to say, well, we do it like this because we always have. There very well could be a better way. And especially with the advance in technology, if Sherry was still handwriting receipts in Odyssey 20 years in, I'd be like, Sherry, there's a better way. And I don't want to hear that you've always done it this way, so that's why you're going to continue to do it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we actually used to take our grooming appointments in the very beginning, just handwritten in a spiral, appointment book.
Appointment book, yeah.
And there would be no way we could be at the level that we're at now by still doing that.
Yeah.
You've got to change and adapt and grow to the situation.
Well, and I know that there's probably a lot of store owners out there that think, I'm making money, so why would I change? Well, because you might be making money at a bigger cost. You could be making more money if money is the motivator. You could be making more money if you looked at more efficient ways of doing things, if you didn't sit there stagnant.
It could just be easier to make the money. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, that was limits.
Hey, the good news, Carly, is that every limit can be broken. Education, community, partnerships, consistency, relationships, and innovation, they are all within our control.
So very, very quickly, I'm doing a recap, Sherry.
Oh, that was my recap.
Okay, my recap is limits, the acronym. Lack of education in store and with your customers. That is a limit. I, ignoring community, both in store and online. You gotta attend to both. M, misaligned partnerships, locking yourself into exclusivity deals, whether you're the store, the brand, or the distributor. Bad news. The other I, inconsistency in your messaging, branding, and your social engagement. T, transactional mindset and not focusing on the long game. It's about building relationships. And S, stagnation and never evolving or changing things up. Now, I'm also going to tell you, for those of you who are in our Substack community, there is an exclusive infographic. This is something new for 2026.
Oh, it's beautiful. I love this infographic.
I kind of love it. So you will still get your playbook that talks about for our the exclusive content for our paid Substack members. They get their playbooks. They get their playbooks that kind of details everything. So if you're a reader, you love that. If you're a Sherry who wants it quick and dirty, then you are going to love the infographic because it's a one-pager that basically gives you all of the limits and how to get past it in a one-pager.
Speaking of our Substack, I did want to say, because a couple people have asked, there's no place where you can go and look at some of our old playbooks easily. You'd kind of have to scroll back. But I realized there are links to each one of our playbooks. If you go to our Instagram and you click on our Substack highlight bubble, all of our playbooks from season 2, which is when we started doing Substack, are right there. So you can just click on those links in one place.
If you are not a member of our Substack community where we drop all the gold, it's on sale right now. $9.99 in perpetuity. Is that the word?
Oh my gosh, I forgot. Yes. Oh my gosh, that's saving $3 a month forever.
Yeah.
For our Substack.
When you lock in on one of those deals, you get that deal as long as you maintain your membership. You will always only pay $9.99 a month. That is where all of the gold lives, because with every episode we put together a playbook, and now new in 2026. Most likely an infographic as well, because they're so slick and easy. And then that kind of, here's my thought, you guys. Here's my thought behind the infographic. If you just want that really quick hitter reminder, the one pager. If you want to dig into all the details, you go through the playbook, but you're going to get both with every weekly episode in our Substack community. So
love it. Love it.
If you are limiting yourself and your growth or know somebody who is, by all means, share this episode with them. Identify and become aware of the limits that are holding you back from growing, and then implement all the different ways to fix that. Until next time, Pet Pro, bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, Pet Pro, that's it for this week.
Don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe.
Just hit all the buttons.
And if you want more, join us in the Indie Insider, our private Facebook group for pet pros.
Then you'll never miss the podcast that makes you sit, stay, and beg for more. The Pet Shop Girls.
Pet Shop Girls.
You know, Sherry, when I first opened House of Paws, I was spending way too much time making documents that I needed from scratch. Employee handbooks, sales games, event planners, even little giveaways for customers.
I remember, and those weren't just nice to haves. They make your store run smoother and kept your customers coming back.
Exactly. Every document I created was because I needed it for my own store. And then I kept hearing from other pet pros, I wish I had something like that.
I said that too, and that's what I love. These aren't theory. They're used in a real store with real results. I use your event planner every month. And now any indie retailer can grab them, save time, add their logo, and use them too.
Right? So if you're tired of starting from a blank page, check out houseofpawspetpro.com and use promo code PetShopGirls to get 10% off your first order and see which documents can help you get your time back.